Hello, everybody. Does somebody want to make a motion to begin?
Yeah, I make a motion to begin.
I'll support.
Okay, and I'll just take roll real fast. Kate
Okay.
Smith, me. Robert Smith,
Here.
Sue McFadden,
Present.
Dennis Kapelinski,
Present.
John Jones. Okay, he's here.
He's here.
Jennifer McConnell,
Here.
all right, Joe Bandy, not here. Kathy Duran, not here. Mark Jacobs,
Here.
Brad Chasen,
Here.
and Robert Cox. Not here. Approval of the minutes. Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Does anybody want to support?
I'll second it.
All right, now moving on to financial reports. Brad.
All right. So in your guys' packet, you'll see the structure that I gave to you guys. This was what got approved in our council meeting a couple weeks ago. And I just wanted you guys to see everything that we were doing. Some of the things that we're doing that's new. Previously, when we did pavilion rentals, when someone would come in and want to rent a pavilion, they would be able to rent that pavilion all day. And it's great for families if you're setting up for like maybe a graduation or like a family gathering of some sort. But if you're trying to do something like maybe quick, like a birthday party, it kind of takes away opportunities from maybe other families wanting to rent maybe in the morning or in the evening, whatever. What we did is we actually broke it up into 3 different categories. So then that way you can actually rent a pavilion in the AM or PM, or you can still do it all day at a certain fee. Because this gives us opportunities. So if Katie wanted to rent it for a birthday party on a Saturday morning, she could rent the main pavilion on Saturday morning. And then if we had another group that wanted to rent it in the evening, it gives that group the evening the opportunity to be able to rent it as well at a discounted cost from what we did before. So we just wanted to kind of give that opportunity. It's pretty common in other municipalities of doing it that way, just to kind of break it up and try it out and see if it works. If it's something that doesn't really work well, we can always reevaluate.
Sounds good.
Yep. Okay.
Any questions or comments regarding that? Okay, moving on to financial reports B.
Yeah, and this is again just talking about what's new. I went a little bit over the pavilions. We talked a little bit about the Maplewood, and what we want to try to do there is we did a lot of daily rate fees for fitness classes. And I have a lot of experience in fitness classes. At my previous position, we offered 68 fitness classes a week. Not to say that we're going to jump to that right away, but what really drives people to stick with a fitness class is if you have to commit to a certain extent. So doing it daily, it doesn't really make people commit for too long. What we want to try to do now is when we bring in fitness classes, we want to offer it to be a 8 to 10 week session, and they can purchase that session at a discounted rate than what they would do at a daily rate. Before we would charge like $2 or $3 for some classes, even $4 per time that they would come and visit. Where now we're going to have a resident rate of $4 per class if you do a session-based program. And then if you're a non-resident, it's $5. And then if you still wanted to do the daily rate, we'd still offer that, but it's going to be at $6.
So wait, you said that it's per session. What does that mean?
A session could be coming to a fitness class for 8 to 10 weeks at a time. So like every Thursday at 10 o'clock, you do a yoga class. You come every Thursday for 8 weeks. at that 10 o'clock time to take that class, and you're paying for it all up front.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but
Okay.
Good enough. That's a good idea.
Cool. All right. And
So
then,
Brad,
oh yeah.
Brad, is that different from the senior fitness? That's
Yes.
going to be different then, correct?
Yeah. Senior prices, we went through those and just, I think we raised them just a smidge. I think like $1 or something. It wasn't anything too crazy with the seniors. So we still have a separate senior program. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And also Maplewood room rental, we kind of talked about that in previous meetings, just that we put it out there to have for the room rental fees. And we're putting together a package so then that way, when room rentals start happening, we'll have a packet. So anybody that's interested, they can understand, okay, this is what you would pay for this certain room. This is what you would pay for that certain room. It's kind of broken down for them.
Okay.
Any questions?
Any questions or comments regarding that?
Nope.
All right, moving on to program reports. A.
All right. So as you know, due to COVID, we unfortunately have had to cancel a majority of our summer programming. And that includes the Bacon Run that was scheduled for August 15th. I've already talked with Emotive, and we've scheduled for next year to be August 14th, which is the Saturday, like same weekend. So we're going to still plan to offer that next year, and they're on board with helping us with that. Our St. Patrick's Day skate that we had in March that we had scheduled, we unfortunately had to cancel. Easter egg hunt, that was canceled. Parent to parent, that was canceled. We do plan on doing that next year, but we're going to do it in February. So then that way we can avoid any parking issues like we talked about in the last meeting, because we don't really want to have any taking up of space with soccer games or anything like that. And obviously our ice competitions were canceled as well, which is really unfortunate because I was kind of excited to get experience with that, but we'll just have to wait for that till next year.
what did you do with the people who pre-registered for the Bacon Run? Or people like, if we had any sponsors, what did you do with the money that they had already given us for this year's?
Yeah, that's a great question. We didn't have any sponsors as of yet for the Bacon Run. Like normally March, April-ish is when we're starting to go and hustle to find sponsorship for that. So we didn't have any as of when we made the decision. In regards to runners, we only had 2, and we directly refunded back to their credit cards, so then that way they could have their money back.
Wow. All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Program reports B.
Yep. On to B with softball. I have purchased softballs, so those are in-house, in hopes that we are able to offer a league of some sort. So we're just in a waiting pattern with that program, along with kickball, cornhole, and baseball, obviously with Joe Bandy and their crew. So we're waiting to hopefully be able to do something. USSSA has come out and has parameters that we should go by, because obviously like Ohio, they're already kind of opening up. So we're just kind of looking into that and just kind of waiting to see when the governor will allow us. And then also, with Doc's blessing too. So hopefully with that sooner rather than later. But if worst case scenario, if we can't do anything this year, we can keep the softballs until next year and use them in the spring. So we hope it doesn't come to that.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll have a hockey program in the fall too.
Yes, that's in my eyes. I'm looking to put ice in the week of the 17th. So until I'm told otherwise, that's of August. Sorry.
Have you heard anything, as being a municipality, of when they're thinking, or if there's any estimation of when they're the governor might be opening like softball. I mean, softball's, I mean, maybe not in the dugout, but if you're out on the field, you're 6 feet away.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't heard anything. I've talked with other municipalities, like Canton. I've reached out to Farmington as well, and just to see what they're planning. And they just have registration still open to attract people, but they have no idea when they're.
That's too bad. Uh-oh.
Go ahead. Sorry about
I
that.
think I lost you guys.
So, yeah,
there
that's
you are.
it for right now. Like kickball is same thing, and volleyball that we had planned is all on the holding pattern. We have everything ready to go. It's just we're just holding off till.
What a shame, because I have to say I was so looking forward to that Easter egg hunt. That was going to be so cool. I was so looking forward to that. So next year.
Yep. Unfortunately.
Okay, program reports. Do you just want to skip over kickball since you already mentioned it?
Yeah.
And go to the food pantry?
Yeah, food pantry. This has been a very eye-opening experience working with the food pantry. It's my first ever time working in a food pantry, and seeing the amount of people that have brought in either a financial donation or food as a donation, whether it be a small bag, a can, or even just 10 bags. Like, it's been a great experience. We've helped a lot of people. And I think with us keeping, pushing it out there that, our food pantry is there and the awareness, I think we'll continue to help people that are in a great thing.
Yeah, can they come in to Maplewood and get the stuff, or do you have it set somewhere where they can get it from close to the outside?
Yeah, how we do it is basically we'll come out to their vehicle and ask them if they have an appointment or if they need emergency food. So that's how we determine what bags we give them. A lot of the time, sometimes it's an emergency food and they tell us how many family members they have. And then we grab the amount of bags. And then if we have meat set aside for emergency bags, we can throw meat in there. And, it's a collaboration of a lot of things, but like it's great to see, that we can provide as much stuff as we do.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, they just got to stay in their car, and they can we usually are up waiting for them to arrive, or they'll honk their horn or they'll call us and we'll just come out to the car.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know that you get a lot of the stuff from donation from the citizens, but where would you get like meat products from?
That comes as donations. And then also with all the financial donations that we get, we go out to like Gordon Food Service or Gleaners to purchase meat. So that makes it to where we're able to go out and purchase that. And then we just put it in freezers.
That's pretty awesome.
That's nice to hear that you've been helping over there, Brad.
Oh yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's a great experience, and I look forward to continuing with it even after this COVID stuff is over. So.
Okay, moving on to program reports F.
Yep, FRC. So as you guys know, Monica retired. So the crew that we have over there, Kelly, Zach, and Sean, have been really stepping up to the plate. Sean and Kelly have been really taking care of all of the reporting and working with the Wayne County with the grant and everything like that, and getting all the funding rolling through. We had a meeting with them, a really great meeting with them with Doc the other day to kind of, get an idea of what the future looks like for FRC, and it's very positive. And we're pretty excited to see what we can do in the future. It's unfortunate for the summertime. They did have like a camp that they offered, and we can't do it right now. But we're just trying to gear up to see what we can do with what's left of summer if we're able to. And those guys have been really eye-opening on, what they offer and what they can do and what they're willing to do to make it work. So really good stuff.
Okay, program reports, G.
Yeah, fall programming. This is still kind of, we're trying to plan in a sense, hopefully a softball league in the fall at least, offering kickball. Obviously, we'll have the ice in if we can. And different programs over at Maplewood as well. We want to do little special events here and there, maybe like a euchre tournament, or we've already purchased some some Nerf guns and some inflatable barriers to where you can have a Nerf night with kids or even adults, maybe.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we're pretty excited about that and offering that kind of stuff to kind of get more kids into Maplewood, besides obviously our dance program that's very successful, and Lori does an amazing job over there. But offering more like diverse stuff, and trying to play with different things. So it's definitely exciting, and if we get it kind of honed in, we'll definitely share it more and more. So.
Okay.
Awesome. Any questions or comments regarding program reports? Okay, moving on to old business A.
Yeah. So I just want to give you guys an update on some of the grants that we've been working with lately. Megan, in the month of March, applied for a grant with United Way for $20,000 for the food pantry, and we got it, which is awesome. So we started spending that money right away. They give us a very short window to purchase it, so it was like, where can we buy stuff? So we were buying it left and right, but they're doing a great job with that. And that, I think, wraps up at the end of May that we can spend that money. So that is that one. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one.
Well, so wait, can I just ask you a quick question on that? So when you get the $20,000, is it for food, or is it like to maintain the actual structure of the pantry, or is it for can you use it on anything, or is it strictly like a food purchase basis?
It's more or less for food purchase. We did purchase some gloves and some masks because of us being out and exposed out to
Good idea.
and everything. So we did purchase it for that stuff and some Lysol. But other than that, we mainly just purchased it with food, which
Wow.
Yeah, that's
That's
really
a lot of money. That's good. I mean, not a lot, but it'll help.
yeah, it was a big significant jump start to the pantry, this whole pandemic.
Okay, the MI Rec grant.
Right.
So this is the grant that is for City Park over here at our big playground. I had to do some paperwork at the end of April, and there's this document that I had to fill out. It was called the Section 106. It was for SHPO, which is for the Historical Society for Michigan. And basically it's to find out if anywhere in the park's layout of our new park that we want to put in, if there's any variances, like any sewer lines or anything like that. So I had to fill out that form and then send it in, and it takes 4 to 6 weeks for them to approve it or not. So we're just waiting for that approval, and then we can move forward with the next step of the grant.
What was the total of that grant?
I think 225,000.
Okay, then moving on to C under grants.
Yeah, the STOP grant. So when Monica was still with us, she applied for a STOP grant that is towards prevention for teens. So like alcohol abuse, drug abuse, anything like that. So it's a lot of coordination with the police department, which is great to work with Tim and Shippy over there. So Megan has been pretty much the lead on this grant, but there is a lot of aspects of having seminars at, like, say, the Maplewood Center to talk to teens about the and stuff like that, where we're not able to host that right now. So Megan's getting pretty creative in how she can still meet the requirements of the grant and offer those services as well. So that's going to be a 4-year grant where we get like $50,000 a year, which is great. So then that way it provides, you know, another opportunity for us to provide for the city.
Any questions or comments regarding the grants?
Well, I can say that I'm really glad to see that we got the excuse me, the 5-year plan so that we could apply for these grants, and it looks like you guys have just jumped on the ball. So I think that's awesome.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to old business B.
Yep. To-do list. So this is just me reaching out to you guys to see, and some of you guys have reached out to me already about things you want to have looked into, but just giving you the opportunity to say, you know, is there anything that you've noticed lately that needs some extra special attention?
Not since last Friday.
And we're looking into that boulder and seeing how we can get that out of there for you.
I don't know how in the world that was moved, but that was weird.
Yeah.
But thank you.
No problem.
Sue has Rotary, right?
Yes.
Okay. Was it the boulder at Rotary
Yes.
moved? And I know I talked to, I messaged Brad about that as well. There has been a couple of people that have driven over the soccer fields, and now I have to look at the dates, but one just recently was on Friday, this past Friday, which someone sent me a video of the person that did it. I did send that video to Brad, DPS, Tim, so they have the information on that one. And, you know, 2 places that they are coming in at is the sidewalk right next to the playground, and then they're able to leave down that Barton. So those 2 boulders just need to be a little closer so that a vehicle can't get in there. And I know I talked to Brad a little bit about getting cameras up at the pavilion. And I know, you know, it's one thing that Dan, before he had left, we had talked about that maybe. But there is an issue with possible vandalizing. But oh, I'm cutting out. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hold on, I'll turn it down. Okay. So yeah, with the recent vandalizing issues with both the manor and Rotary, I was wondering if it is a possibility to look into getting cameras over there. Rotary.
Hey, Jennifer. Jennifer.
Yep.
What kind of vehicle when they, like on Friday, were they going around in, and do you know around what time? Just so I can keep my eyes out.
Yep, I will send you an email. It was like a utility, like a golf cart style.
That's like that, yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. But yeah, if you would, that would be great.
Yep. And that's all I had on that one.
Cool.
I had a resident out to me about painting the concession stand at Mueller Field. I know that's on the February agenda that it's supposed to be done. This is the guy who painted a few rooms at the Maplewood Center already. He's a licensed painter, so he was offering his time and supplies. If you guys want to help with that, I don't know if I should send him to the DPS director or you, Brad, if you
Send his
want to do it as like a volunteer opportunity.
What was
I don't know
that?
if DPS is taking care of it.
I'm catching a lot of static from some.
Yeah, me too.
Can you say that again, Kate, please?
There's a resident who offered to paint the concession stand at Moeller Field. And I know that it's on the February agenda, so I'm not sure if DPS is taking care of it or if you wanted to, do it as like a volunteer thing. He offered to help. He's going to end the few rooms at the Maplewood Center already.
Okay. Can you forward me his information, and then maybe I can reach out to Brad and see if we can coordinate that. If it's not to where we can pay somebody, maybe we figure out a day to volunteer and we just go up there and do it.
All right.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody have anything else for the old business to-do list? Anything needing special attention?
Yeah, Kate. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just noticed, I think it was Sunday, I noticed that it wasn't, I'm always complaining about dog poop being on the track at Garden City Park. And I noticed the other day it wasn't any up there, but I don't think it was many bags.
Okay. We'll get on that too as well.
Okay, anything else from anybody else regarding to-do list? Okay, moving on to new business.
Okay. So letter A is before this whole COVID thing came about, we always struggled to find someone to sharpen all of our skates. We're always looking for an opportunity to possibly offer it at the ice arena. There was talks of when we did it before, and then we had an outside source bring in skates or a skate sharpener, and then they took them back to their house, etc. So we actually looked up, and there was a skate sharpener that you could purchase that was a commercial grade that was actually not huge, and it does one skate at a time. It's a brand called Sparks. My brother actually has one at his house, and I watched him do it a couple of times, and it was actually very efficient in how it sharpened and everything. So we actually went out and purchased a commercial grade of that version. So now we're going to be able to offer skate sharpening at the ice arena. We're going to charge $5 a pair. But then this also saves us about $350 a year, because we used to have to outsource that. And now we can have one of our staff in the downtime on any particular day. They can start going through and start sharpening all of our rental skates that we have. So just another added bonus that we have. Not thinking that we're going to make a ton of money off from revenue, but we're definitely going to put it out there to let people know that we do it. And hopefully we get some revenue from that as well.
Where are you going to put it in the rink, Brad?
Well, we've found a place in the compressor room that we want to put it, because we also have talked about putting all of our rental skates out of the concession stand and putting them into the compressor room, to kind of get it out of the food area. So that's our game plan as of right now. That was when we had a full staff and that we thought that we were going to do it. But we've made room for basically 2 racks, so we'll be able to put skates on each side, and it will fit everything. So we just got to be able to get the racks in there and get it all situated. Are you
gonna be able to have the ventilation and be able to do that?
The ventilation
for the skate sharpening for that.
Yeah, it actually has a vacuum for it.
Okay.
Yep.
What about like over sharpening? Like killing the blade, kind of? Is that something that can be? There's something that doesn't happen with something that's like that, or do you have to take a class, or how do you know how to do it without?
Yeah, there's going to be a training process. It's very simple how to do it, but we'll train all of our staff before we put them on it. But it's pretty much literally you drop the skate in, put the clamps on, and then make sure you have the sharpening bit that you want in there. And then you press start, and then you tell it how many times you want it to go back and forth. We're only going to sharpen our rental skates once a year, like we have been always. So it's not anything that we're really over sharpening or anything like that. So
I'm thinking of very long time ago. What you did was you took your skates to get sharpened, and somebody went back there and grinded them. So I'm thinking that's what they still do, but of course they've upgraded. That makes sense. Okay.
Right. And it's still a grinding wheel. It's just we have two different parameters
Right.
that we're going to go off from. So
It's automated instead of
yeah,
hand.
and it's automated now. Yep.
Yeah. It's good.
Cool.
Okay, new business B.
Yep. This is something that we're going to put out this coming fall. We were pretty excited about it. We're putting together a brochure. And this is going to offer all of our programs, Maplewood and the ice arena and our parks, to showcase everything that we offer. So like, we're going to offer it twice a year. It's going to be a fall winter brochure and a spring and summer. And basically we'll have everything from dance in there to special events to open skate times, theme skate, all that stuff will be in one document. Where in my old facility I used to work at, we would mail these out to every household in the city. And I don't think that that's the best use of our resources. So I've had Amanda, our marketing and design coordinator, she has been working on it to where we're just going to put it on our website. So then that way we can see if people will utilize it, and see if we can get some more registrations that way, and push everything marketing is at our brochure on the website, and it'll provide more traffic for our website as well. But we're hoping that this can be a one-stop shop for families to say, okay, I'm looking for, where can we go for ice skating, and then we want to look for a Nerf night at the Maplewood Center. So then that way they only have to work at one document instead of having 600 different colored flyers or anything like that. So we're really excited about it. We're in the first draft process right now, but we're going to try to get through the rest of the drafts before the end of July, because we put it out for our last water bill that we were going to have it ready by July.
That was going to be my question is it going to be small enough to put in with the water bills so we can mail it to all our residents, or are they going to have to download it or pick it up?
No. Yeah, it's going to go on the website to where it's going to be a document to where it's going to come up on your screen, and it's going to be a multi-page document to where you're just going to flip through pages of the first section will be, say, for youth, and then the second section will be for adults, then seniors, and then special events, and then we'll have information on all of our facilities that we offer, everything like that.
So they'll have to get it off the website.
Yep.
If you think that it is bringing people in, maybe you could get a business to sponsor a brochure to mail it to people eventually, to cover the cost of that.
Yeah, that would be a big dream of mine. I still want to try and get sponsorship regardless, because there is a fee that we have to pay in order for it to be online, a monthly fee of I think it was $40. But if we can get some sponsorship, then that way it's no cost to us whatsoever. So that's my thing, is I don't want it to be any cost to us if we can try to negate that as much as possible.
And then, go ahead, Mark.
It'd be nice to be able to have enough copies, throw them at City Hall in the council, at City Hall, at the water desk, Parks and Rec, Maplewood, all those places for people that, like me, that aren't on the website very often.
Well, and that's kind of like our phase out period, that we want to do it online first to see if people will be attracted to it and utilize it and stuff like that. And then we'll start making copies, a limited supply that we put at Maplewood, the ice arena, City Hall, that sort of thing. And then eventually, if we see, okay, this is really beneficial to the community, okay, we're going to really do a push for, okay, do we do section of the community, or do we do everything? And that's something that we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
And I think adding it to like social media will help as well. You know, all the pages, the positivity page, you know, just in general, the Parks and Rec page, I think that'll be good too.
Yeah.
Is that something that could be maybe in one of like the offices of one of the schools or a few of the schools? Do you work together in the school like that?
Yeah, we have a bunch of collaborations with Maplewood and the school district already, so that definitely could be another avenue that we go through too, for sure.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving on to new business C.
All right. Have any of you guys heard of esports at all?
No.
Okay.
We're all too old.
So for those of us who haven't heard of it, so basically if it's your child at home or your grandchild, whichever, there's a lot of esports going around that basically it's for your John Madden, your NHL, your NBA, all those sports games that are out online. And there's even other games to where you can play Call of Duty and stuff like that. But there's a big demand in esports to where a lot of communities are going towards the esports route of offering a league or a tournament to where it's like, okay, you pay $10 and you're in this tournament and you play against other players that are either in the city or they could be across the state or even country if you really go expansive. But just wondered what you guys thought about the idea of maybe offering something like this down the road.
If there's an interest, I'm for it.
I would say yes. I personally know some youth and sport organizations that are doing it within their own like organizations themselves with their players. So I have seen, it is kind of cool because it lists all the brackets and it breaks it down, and you know, I mean, it's kind of a new day and age, and right now is especially popular because, you know, the kids can't really, you know, be with each other. So that is a huge, you know, new thing that's happening right now that I see is becoming really popular.
Cool. Anybody else got any comments?
Brad, I saw it advertised on ESPN. They have a tournament going on now for basketball. I think I saw it. Well, like Jennifer said, you know, this is a new day and age. You know, I'm a baby boomer, so I like live contact. This is what they go with now.
Right.
I think it's a good idea to try it, see if it works.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that way I'll look a little bit more into it. I want to see what kind of platforms are out there and see, you know, can we do something like that pretty quickly, or is it something that's a lot of involvement step by step? So I'll look more into it and I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
Hey, Brad, I had a quick question on the skate sharpener. What did that cost?
Costs us $2,000.
One? Okay.
Yep. And we bought one, and basically we said the ROI on it was a year, 6 months. And that's if we did 3 sharpens, I think a month, a week. So regardless, I think it'll be more beneficial for us for our rentals. But at the same time, offering that, I think we might get a little bit more revenue on the side as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, new business ordinances.
Okay. This is something that Doc and I had talked about previously. And, I had emailed you guys back in April about it to kind of see what your guys' opinion were. I did receive some feedback from some of you, but I just wanted to put it out there for everybody. In regards to a lot of communities in the area are going no smoking in parks. And a lot of their facilities as well. And just wondered, from your guys' perspective, I've spoken with some of you guys recently, but, putting it out there to say, what do you guys think? Should this be something that we move forward with, or what's your guys' opinion?
All right. So first of all, I didn't get it in April because of, I didn't get it because of the email address thing. But so my question would be, how would you enforce it?
With this, basically, it's not to where we're going to be policing this on a regular basis. It's one of those things to where, okay, if I was at my son's, I don't have a son, but theoretically speaking,
Say you did.
if I was at my son's baseball game and someone came up that was smoking in the bleachers and was right next to me, and it was blowing right into my face, it would give
Absolutely.
something to kind of say, hey, do you mind, going on the other side of me, or do you mind stepping over there while you're having a cigarette? And just having like a backup for that person. It's not necessarily that we would go out and just police it on a regular basis.
I know.
Well, I understand that. And with your example there, though, I mean, I still think that if you're going to have it, you have to be able to back it up, because if you can't back it up, then it's nothing. You know what I mean? I mean, like, if with your example, and if the guy was like, screw you, you have to be able to, and then you have to have a next step, I guess is what I'm saying.
Sure.
So, I mean, if you're going to do that, I think that you have to at least have a next step somewhere, so that it's not just in Wixom, you can't walk pigs on Sunday. I mean, that doesn't, you don't want to, you just don't want one of those.
Sure.
At Moeller, they have the signs where you can't smoke during GCYA events.
There you go.
I've been there.
I mean,
But they don't enforce it. What they do is basically people read the signs, and they're kind enough not to stand in the stands and smoke.
Yeah.
They'll go to the street part. They can still watch the game. They're not in anybody's way, but they get the hint that smoking's not allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you put a police officer in the park, and we're not going to.
Yeah,
So
you can't have the court employees going out there. I mean, the park employees going out there trying to enforce it either, because that could just run into trouble.
No,
Well,
but
right,
if Brad was
and I am just,
smoker, he could call the police instead of being a confrontation and say, look, we have a problem here. If you could possibly send a guy out here to deal with it,
that's what I'm at.
I think the sign
Just that.
itself is enough policing.
Oh yeah, I think enough people they see the sign and they'll adhere to what it says.
I think the problem you'll have is the softball players. They won't.
But I agree with everything that you're saying, but that was my point. Like, is there going to be a sign? Is there going to be something? I mean, I'm not saying put a police officer or get an ordinance officer even to stand out there, but there just needs to be a next step. Like, if something happens, I mean, a sign alone would work, rather than it just being an ordinance on the books, I guess is what I'm saying.
I would assume there'd be signs.
Yeah. But you go to
right now, but I would assume there would be signs that say no smoking in the parks. There'd probably be some around the ball fields that say no smoking. But other than that, no, we're not going to put a police officer in there, and park employees aren't going to be confrontational to it because most of them are part-timers.
Right.
So,
Well, no,
yeah, but
I
the
agree.
sign, I think the sign is a good idea. People get the and like you said, at baseball, they want to adhere to whatever you ask them to do. You're not going to have many people smoking.
no, and I think the softball players, something else, they'll police themselves as far as not throwing their cigarette butts everywhere, because eventually you can use the threat of, we will put somebody here and you guys won't be able to smoke at all, or your team will be thrown out, whatever, money, whatever you got to do. But, if you're respectful enough and you put a note not to make a mess, I think that usually gets the point across.
Right. That's something that I can cover in the captain's meeting at the beginning of the season. Hey, this is a heads up. This is coming. This is going. And then that way it's on them to pass the word.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you got when people sign up for a softball team, you could tell them that there's no smoking in the park now.
Yeah.
Tell your players that's the way it is.
Right.
Okay, moving on to ordinances. B.
Yeah, this one was just with the ordinance the way that it was. With our park hours, it said like we were open from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. from October until March. And then from April until September, we were only open from 9 a.m. till 7 p.m. Well, we went back and looked, and there was a lot of times when the park was technically closed and it was still light out. So we're just suggesting that we make a park ordinance of, okay, the parks are closed from dusk until dawn.
Mhm. I like that.
It doesn't put a specific time on it. And it's, again, nothing that we're going to go out there and yeah, right. We'll put signs out there as well. But it's just there to have as a backup in case, like, say a parks employee's cleaning up for the night and they see some people goofing off or whatever. And, you know, it gives them a way to say, hey, guys, it's dusk. You guys need to get out of here, you know? And just, you know, having that more general statement, then that way it's not set on a certain time.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm torn on it, you know, because I think some point it might be lighter than what the park hours are, and if people want to hang out there while it's light, or it gets dark and they're just sitting there and relaxing and having a good time, you know, why kick them out? Or if an officer comes and says you can't be in here and you get a confrontation, you're going to get the issue of your opinion says it's dusk. Mine says, you know, there's still sun out there, and I got this is harassment, and now you're bringing an issue up with the city. You're bringing the city.
But
you know
probably,
what'll happen. You could
if you wanted to do it, you probably wouldn't go and try and kick anybody out unless it's dark.
Yeah, right. And again, like if they're not bothering anybody, I'm not going to approach them.
Right.
You're not.
So
the drive through there, depending on what time, you know, if it's not, I don't know what time Neighborhood Watch comes out, but I know they drive through there and are more than happy to call the police 100 times because someone's not doing what they say.
Brad, what did you say the hours are right now?
Hang on, I gotta pull out my document that I have.
I thought during the summer it was till like 10 p.m.
Yeah, I think you're right, Mark. I think it is 10 p.m.
Instead of dusk, you could just say dark, and then, you know, that dark is dark. Maybe they'll be smoking, and then
how dark is dark? You know, you get a lot of interpretations.
Get a twofer on that one.
That's right. Cleaning up these parks.
That's funny.
Well, I would
I'm just playing the devil's advocate.
If the Neighborhood Watch people went through and they thought it was dark and they called a scout car to come over there and tell the guy it's dark, get out, he's going to leave.
I think the sign at Florence Park has that it.
No, the cop's going to show up and the guy's going to run.
What was that, Katie?
The sign at Florence Park, I think it has like an AM time, but then for when it closes, I think it says sunset.
Oh, really? Yeah, because the times were from October 15th to March 15th. It was closed from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And then from March 16th to October, it was closed from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Yeah, so it's until 10 p.m.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can see both sides.
Right.
I think just making it more generalized, I think would just make it easier to say. And again, I don't think this is going to be something that's on a regular basis to where we're going to have to always have this issue. It's just to kind of, I don't know.
I know when it first came up, some council members had some questions, and I did not get back to them to find out what they were, which I should have for tonight. But I know there were some questions, and I don't know if they were agreeing with it or not agreeing with it.
Okay.
So whatever we do, there's going to be some discussion.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, personally, I don't see an issue.
Zoom
I mean, I
meetings.
don't see a problem with it. Changing it the way you want.
Okay.
It's just me.
Like, just as an example, I looked back on October 15th of last year. The sun set at 6:50, but if we go off from our own rules, the park closed at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
So that's where I think, saying dusk to dawn would make a little bit more sense. Where like same thing on sunrise on October 15th wasn't until 7:47 a.m. and we were closed. We were open by then, but
Yeah.
so
I'm kind of torn. I think part of it's good and part of it's going to be hard to enforce. And if you get somebody that's overly ambitious, you could have an issue.
right.
So I'm just saying, I think there's going to be more discussion on it.
Okay.
Maybe we can bring it up at council if we can get off these TV meetings.
You know how much you love him, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it seems silly to have a time if the sunrise and sunset, is forever changing.
Yeah, it's gonna vary.
All right.
Okay, any questions or comments regarding anything from new business? Okay, moving on to communications and upcoming events.
All right. So one of the events that we want to put together this fall is an egg hunt. So basically, what this would be, and I think I've explained this before, is we would put eggs out in the park, and it would be nighttime, and we would give out 4-inch little neon glow sticks, and kids would have to search for the eggs throughout the park. Or if we wanted to, we could do it in Maplewood, or we can get creative with this still. But that's something that we'd like to put on as like a Halloween besides our trunk or treat. Then kind of have something for the public to be able to have.
Would you have an age limit on that?
Yeah, I think we'd probably do the same age limits, like 0 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 10, like we were going to do for the egg hunt.
Okay.
Do you have a date yet?
Still working on a date. I would assume in October, probably a Friday or a Saturday night, just so then that way it's a weekend where the kids don't have to worry about school the next day. But yeah, that's what we're looking at so far. And in our communications that I'll have for the second Tuesday, I should have a date for you by the next update email that I send out.
Okay.
It sounds like fun.
Okay, update report.
All right. So for those of you that got the email, I'm sorry for those of you that did not get the email. I'm gonna be putting out an update report for all of you to have more information on a regular basis than us just meeting once a month. And it's not anything that you guys have to respond to unless you really want to, but it's just giving you guys the information of what's going on with our department, what's ins and outs. Hopefully by that update email that I shoot out to you guys, we might be talking about getting some things started, getting some things planned. that sort of thing. But just to have more communication with you guys, I think would be beneficial not only for myself to get it out to you guys, but also for you guys to hear it and understand what's going on. So, and the next one will be the second Monday, so it'll be June 8th. When that will be coming out to your emails.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, any questions or comments regarding communications and upcoming events? Okay, moving on to open discussion. Jen, do you want to start?
Well, I don't really have anything. I guess I haven't been to the Garden City Park as much. There is, I do have some friends that walk that track a lot, and they're really enjoying their time out. With our soccer club side, we are just kind of anticipating our return to training date. So that is been postponed several times now, and our latest update is June 15th. So June 15th is when we should be able to hit the fields again. There will be safety protocols and social distancing in regards to that. So, we're kind of staying updated with our families and letting them know how we're going to handle that. We're kind of going based off of the state and what they tell us, the CDC, as well as, the protocols that they have in place that we're going to adhere to with our club. But the city has been cutting all the fields, and they're looking pretty good, except for the tracks. The damage that's been done, and it's sad. Moeller Field, the infield had gotten hit as well with some vandalism and some tired tracks, that have been driven over those too. So it's frustrating because, we want these kids to have a safe, nice place to play when we're able to return. They haven't been playing forever. And, having these, people do this just for the fun of it. It's frustrating and it's hard. And, we can't thank the city enough for helping us with those fields though. So I think that's all I have.
I just wanted to comment on the fields that keep getting driven on. I think that we need to look at fixing it, for good once and for all, just to stop this problem from happening, whether it be cameras or more rocks or fence. I know Parks and Rec doesn't have any revenue coming in right now, but in the near future, I would really like to see this get fixed once and for all, so this doesn't keep happening.
Yeah, it is a yearly thing that happens at least twice a year. This year, a little bit more.
But yeah, it seems to be more.
Yeah, and I feel like this is happening too is because we are not on those fields, a lot. So it's like people are like, oh, okay, nobody's using them. But I agree. I feel like I did, get a statement from Steve with DPS in regards to the cost of the Manor damage, the Manor Park damage in December, in which we are still waiting on the court date. And
thank you. I was wondering about that.
The court date is June 28th. I still have all of the correspondence that I need, and they have my statement from the club that we're still waiting on that to go to court over that. The latest one that was the damage to Rotary, we did get video. It was really blurry, so it was hard to make out, but a police report was made. It was a gray Dodge Durango, and in which the police did an investigation. And I don't believe that they found anything with that, but I feel like if we had cameras and were able to get a good look at their license plate, we could really, talk to these people and explain to them like, hey, this is what, you've done to these kids. And, and then it is frustrating because it keeps happening and it's not going to stop until.
But if we have, if you said they've got video of it, right? Like
Of
grainy video, but video.
Yeah, but they can't really make out anything. All they could make out was the type of lights, the rear lights. And
Well,
we had time.
what about possibly having them do a couple still pictures and plastering them up in Rotary Park saying looking for, because if it's someone that actually goes to the park, it will get to them.
Right.
And then maybe that might stop anybody who might do it in the future anyway, going, hey, they're they got their eye on this.
You couldn't even make out the type of car in the video, but the video came from two people that saw them doing it.
Okay.
So, I'm only going based off of what they saw and then the very grainy video. But, they took off down Barton, they drove past our shed, out the shed way, and then down Barton. So anybody that has, or, cameras down that way might have gotten a look at it. But again, the police did investigation on that. So
I think one of my neighbors has them. When I get back, or maybe sometime in the next couple of days, I'll try and reach out and see if I'm correct, if they've got the cameras in the front of the house.
Yeah, we have the date and we have the time that it happened. So at least we have those. But yeah, I'm with you, Kate. I really would love to see a long-term solution because, it continues to happen and then the city has to pay to have it repaired. So it's like, okay, what's the cost in the repairs or getting camera, so or another boulder. So it's, I guess it's something to think about.
Do you think, just in the short term, because I know all these solutions could be costly and long term, but have we, and I know signs don't always do everything, but have we thought about putting signs out saying, up to a $10,000 fine if caught driving on a field, just to kind of get their attention at least?
Yeah, I like that idea. And maybe we can take that to council. Mark, what do you think about that?
I think we would have to get an opinion from Tim, Chief, on that.
Yep.
If it's legal to do something like that.
Yeah, you'd almost have to have an ordinance.
I don't honestly know if you can or not. I'm thinking with the only sure solution is a fence all the way around every field.
Yeah.
Is a whole lot of money. I mean, the boulders, we can put them, we have them all over the place. Someone's going to get in a motorcycle, dirt bike, they're going to get in if they want. A kid
there's a golf cart going in between on the sidewalk
is going to do that. I think the best solution right now is probably cameras, possibly putting up signs, but putting cameras up in a position where we can get good video, and maybe one or two per field, which I don't think would be too expensive. We'd probably have to look in on that, but I think the only sure solution is to put up fences. And personally, I think it's worse now because of everybody being locked up.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure whoever's driving that Durango isn't much older than 20 or 21 with nothing to do, can't go to the bar, can't hang out with his buddies, supposedly.
Yeah.
I think it's a big reason why it's been so bad this year.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to see something done because, like Jen said, it's costing the city a lot of money in resources and man hours and all that good stuff. And, but it's something that I think the signs might help. But I got to believe if a kid's going to go in there and wants to drive on there, he's not going to really care what that sign says. If he's 18 or 16, however that older one kid that Manor was, he doesn't care because his parents are probably going to get stuck with that tab anyways, or the car insurance company, however that works.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's something we need to bring him in on and get his opinion and some legal advice from him.
Okay.
Direction from him.
Okay, open discussion, Dennis?
I have nothing.
John Jones? Nothing, you're good?
Just raise your hand.
All right, Sue?
I'm good, thank you.
Robert?
Yeah, Brad had asked me, it's in a letter about what I want signs for, you know, like clean up behind your dog in the park, little small signs, you know. So Brad had asked about that. I think that would be a great idea in the park along the walkway.
Along in all parks or just City Park?
No, well, City Park because it really has a track.
But
And
so
I-
does Rotary.
And then,
Yeah.
is there any others in
Oh, pardon me?
Lawrence?
It just has a sidewalk that
Oh.
connects
Yeah,
like
they-
one street to the next, but I don't ever find any dog poop when I'm there.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else, Robert?
No, that will be it. Thank you.
Okay. Mark, do you have anything?
The only thing I really have is, and I know some people have heard about it, is a possible opening on the Parks and Rec Commission. If you guys know of anybody that is interested, you know, let them fill out a form with the City Hall, and or let one of you know that you can let one of us know that, you know, we can look into it. Obviously, it's not a lot of hours that we put in, but, you know, it's still time away from doing some other things. So if anyone knows of anybody, let someone know, either Brad, myself, City Hall, whoever. And then the only other thing, Brad, is the park surveys. Did everybody do that? Are they done? And are we going to get, you know, you know, any issues with all the parks?
I have not received any. I know Sue had asked about hers a little bit. So I have not received any yet. Maybe we can give it till next meeting to get those done and back to me, and then that way I can get the information to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, because looking at it with everything roped off, everybody should be able to go in and look at the equipment and kind of, you know, a gander. Maybe we can get it all set up and fixed before, you know, get going too hard on it, which I hope is really soon, depending on what our wonderful governor decides to do with it. You know, it seems like he's just going 2 weeks at a time on everything. So hopefully, you know, we're running out of 2 weeks. So hopefully we'll get it going.
Maybe set the due date a week before our next meeting. That way you have time to get it in our packets. Just
June 23rd.
okay.
That'll be the Tuesday before.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can email those out, right? I mean, it's not a physical. You have to hand everybody the survey.
Well, we had given them the last meeting out
Right.
physically.
We have copy. Well, I have copies somewhere. I can.
So do I. I have some.
Okay.
I have some too, Brad. I've been slacking on that. I'm sorry about that, man. I've been a little busy on my other end.
Hey, cutting grass.
Times right now.
Exactly.
Cutting grass and edging every Wednesday. I know.
Right. My schedule, man. Hey.
Don't get the CFO back. We'll get the CFO back in here.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay. And then, Brad, do you have anything?
Nope. That's pretty much it. I appreciate your guys' time today, and hopefully everybody stays safe. And we'll see you next time.
Okay. Future meeting calendar. Oh,
Got to make a motion.
Yeah, so you need a motion, Kate.
I'll make a
well,
motion.
I thought he might want to talk about the last thing that's on there, the future meeting calendar.
Sorry.
Oh, that's just dates that our future meetings are.
Okay, so next meeting, June 30th.
Yep.
tentatively via Zoom again if we're not
Yeah.
back.
If it's different, I'll let you guys know, but I'll keep in touch with you guys on that. The 8th, I'll let you guys know what we pretty much plan on doing.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. Would somebody like to make a motion?
I will. I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Thank you, Robert.
Poor John Jones, he can't say
I
nothing.
know, right?
Yeah.
Raise your hand.
He has to complain.
See everybody.
Sure he's trying.
All right. Thanks, Brad.
All right, thanks, everyone.